Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Sara Wiseman. Today we're working on spiritual psychic and we're talking about the cult of belief. And gosh, I have a lot to say on this. A lot to say. A lot to say. I'm not sure I've got it all straightened out in my head of what I want to say, but we will work from the Gabriel messages as a way of helping my mind revert or go underneath a higher level of understanding that comes from the guides. And we'll go that way. I do have a couple of announcements today. First off, I'm going to hold these up. So the Shaman Circle book, for those of you listening on podcast, is now available. And I'm so proud and excited about this because first there was the intuitive path, and then there was the mystic way, and now there is the Shaman Circle. And this, for me, completes the trilogy of all of the teaching I do around psychic development. So you can go into any of these three books. Actually, I would go 1, 2, 3, Intuitive Path, Mystic Way, Shaman Circle, and there in written form are all the techniques that you need for psychic development. Like, I think the only thing that, there's a few things that aren't in there, maybe like pendulum or some other things, but in general, anything to do with deep journeying or deep work with the guides, this sort of deep soul work is in there. And I'm really proud of this because I've been working on it for a long time, actually. I've been working on it for a long time, so I'm glad to have that completed. I want to talk about, referring now back to the Gabriel messages, which if you were going to pick one book to do spiritual study of what I teach, I would probably pick this at this point. It's incredibly complete, and I have been surprised because as I read it sometimes or as I listen to it, I'm really stunned by kind of like the embedded power or embedded light in these messages. So I was having a person take a look at the book a few days ago, and they just sort of randomly turned to a page, and I actually said, "Oh no, don't do that page. Go to another one." Like that page wasn't good enough, and they go, no, this is the page I came to. I'm gonna look at it. And they read it out loud. And there was this kind of immediate, like, when you have a gasp or a shudder or your heart catches and you're just like, whoa. And that's what happened to this person, which was super, super surprising to me. Now, I'm just the scribe of this stuff. I didn't create it. I just received it. So I think there is a lot of power in these messages that if you're suffering a lot, or if you're kind of floundering around in your spiritual practice, potentially that's a good place to kind of look. Potentially there might be something in there for you. I'm just gonna read this. So today it's the cult of belief. And the cult of belief, I like this one. This makes sense to me. The cult of belief. When you find a belief system that is new to you, it is easy to fall all in and drink of the new nectar of this belief system and the love that comes from rubbing shoulders with all of those in this belief system. And sometimes you may even begin to believe that you have found the secret, you have found the path, you have found the way. We say there are many paths up the mountain. The mountain is your mind. There are no paths up the mountain. The mountain is your mind. There are many paths up the mountain is your mind. There are no paths up the mountain is your mind. So I think what the guides are attempting to convey is we are always distracted by, the shiny object. Humans are group people. We are people who came from a tribal system long ago, and we find a lot of comfort being in groups with others. Even those of us who are more solitary or more hermit-like, we find comfort in this idea of like, I generally fit in. And when there's a belief system swirling around, which I want to say, like everything that comes through your phone or through the computer or even what you read, having to understand that anything that's been commercialized or anything that's being created for profit structure or for propaganda or for gathering a lot of people into a belief system so that you can have a commercialized effect. Anytime that happens, you're in a belief system. And I want to say, like, there's some of you who are automatically thinking, oh, that's politics. I don't participate in that. Or that's religion. I don't do that. Or I don't watch the news. Or I don't participate. And I think that in itself is a belief system, right? We're all involved in something. We're all involved in something that's kind of attracting us or pulling us. Like, join into this or be a part of this. It can be as small as I go to a little Zumba class, right? That's a belief system. I'm not super involved in Zumba, but I like the class. I like going. I like the people. It's this idea of rubbing shoulders with all of those in this belief system. So I need to be cautious that I don't just, in my enthusiasm for wanting to be part of, for wanting to have the fun of that particular practice, I got to look carefully. Like, it's just a thing I do. It's not something that I need to fall into completely. I've been speaking to a lot of you internationally who are in international world, and you have a very specific belief system, right? And that's a cult of belief. If you moved to a different place in the world and surrounded yourself with different people, you might still have those lingering threads to that international belief system, but they would lessen over time and you would sort of get back to your true self. Others of you are really pro some certain religion or really anti some certain religion. Either way, pro or anti, it's a belief system. I like to, I really enjoy a lot of different spiritual teachers from different spiritual traditions. And I need to keep remembering, like, anytime there's, again, if it's commercialized, if it is a group of people who are all doing the same thing, if you're encouraged to be in the group, and this could be a regular old cult, it could be a religious movement, it could be a sports team, it could be a political party, it could be your neighborhood book club, it could be your kids' soccer team, it could be your friend group. Like, you have to really be careful of why do people want you in the group, and at what level are they profiting from you, or at what level is it to their advantage to have you as a believer? I often wonder why this is like, I kind of often wonder why, like in the past, books like, say, The Secret were so popular. And I know why books like that were so popular, because in the publishing industry, when there is something that people pour money and marketing into, like pour it in, they have big teams of, especially The Secret was one of the first ones who kind of broke the code by marketing, sort of a guerrilla marketing style that they did that no one had come across yet. And so it's not that the book, The Secret, or The Law of Attraction was any big idea that took the world by storm. It's not that the idea was so phenomenal. The idea's been around for a long time under different names. But it was really around people wanted to gather a big group that would believe in this, so that, they would have sales, or they would have influence or popularity, or fame, or whatever they were particularly looking for. We want to go big. This is going to be the top seller. So whenever you're seeing something that's at the top, lots of followers, lots of money, again, religion, sports team, political team, other groups, even things like on, just little subgroups on various channel, like the trad wife movement, or, just whatever it is, menopausal women, like whatever you're seeing this big group coming through that wants you to be in the group, I think it's important to be super cautious. What I have found is that spiritual community is amazing, and yet the real place where spiritual work happens is you by yourself in your little room, connecting to the guides, or you by yourself in your car, if you have a car, sitting in a parking lot meditating, or you by yourself in the park on a park bench meditating, or you by yourself in the middle of the biggest crisis of your life, meditating and connecting in with your guides or with the vastness of the universe, and receiving understanding from that higher level awareness. I don't think you can do this journey of spiritual opening in a group. I think it's good to follow groups at some level for support, and I think it's good to drop into groups for some training. I mean, I've done that. I will continue to do that, but I don't just put my alliance like this is what I am. I'm really interested in a lot of the Buddhist communities around where I live. I really like them, and yet I don't feel called to go all in. I'm really interested in some of the new thought groups around here. Again, like I'm just like, yeah, I'm super interested in what they're doing. My practice has to be direct connection with the universe. And to me, direct connection is meditating with the guides and letting the guides actually inform me. Sometimes people get really excited about channeling, thinking it's some kind of magical superpower, and I don't think it is. I think everyone has access to channeling. I think what happens in channeling when you start, and by channeling I mean you go in and you connect with your guides and you receive messaging. You receive messaging in journeys, drug-free journeys. You receive messaging in writing while you're in meditative state. you receive messaging from actual words that come into your mind. And it takes a while to get that stuff into a clear stream. And also, the messages that come in, when I started all those years ago, like it's over 20 years ago now, the messages were kind of, to my mind now, they were kind of juvenile or younger. They were meeting me where I was then. And, you'd think after over over 20 years, like the messages would be more advanced for me. I don't know, like they are different. They are at a different level. I have grown at some level. And so when you start receiving in this way, you go into your small room or your small car, your small park bench, your small hospital room, wherever you find yourself reaching out and connecting, direct connection to the universe, it's really good to not have any conception of what might come through. You might receive something as simple as, oh, I received a golden ball in my journey, in my meditation. I went up, I went in, all I got was a golden ball. And you might receive that for many months. And that is a kind of a koan that the universe provides as a symbolic message, as an energetic message, as a way of helping you have understanding on something that you're working on in your life. But the thing is to not reject it and be like, oh no, I wanted to receive like all these messages in writing, or I wanted to receive the highest level of spiritual awareness possible known to man or woman. I wanted to receive that. I'm so longing for that deep pouring in of information. You got to let that go. You got to let that go. Sometimes when I go, you can see my little chair that I sit in quite a bit. Sometimes when I go to my little chair in my little room, I'll just get like one little thing, like a tennis shoe. Okay, that does not seem very highfalutin in terms of spirituality, right? I'm just like, okay, tennis shoe. And it might take me, I'm so busy rejecting the message. I'm so busy rejecting the message that I can't maybe take in what it's meaning. Maybe it means, like I'm not sure, I'm just making this up as example. So maybe it means I need to go out and walk more. Maybe it means I need to do more sports. Maybe it means I need to have more support on my feet. Maybe it means I need to walk more steps on my spiritual journey. Maybe it means something else. But the idea of rejecting it because it's not good enough, I wanted more, it doesn't make sense to me, and then we kind of in frustration blow that off and be like, oh, that doesn't work it, and then we're just still like, where's the answer? Where's the answer? There is no outer answer. It's all about direct connection with source. There are many paths up the mountain. The mountain is your mind. That's what we're trying to get through or get away from. The mountain is your mind. There are no paths up the mountain. The mountain is your mind. So here it is, your mind, your mind, ego, personality is sitting right in front of you. And that's the thing that you're needing to learn how to do work around. While all the time, every bombardment from everything coming in is telling you, here's the answer, just take this course, just do this, just be in this group, just, or even the opposite of that, be in no group, which I kind of think is a little bit better idea. Let's just read the next one, which also relates. Let's see. Okay, here we go. There is no belief system. When you accept that the only key is to allow mind, ego, personality to move into support position so that the soul leads while mind, ego, personality supports as dear friend who experiences with you the events of this lifetime, your life gets very much easier. It is simple for mind, ego, personality to attach to a new belief system, to drink the new nectar, to have the certainty that this finally is it. But it is not so. There is no belief system that can contain the whole of the universe, including this one. Let your soul lead you to the wonder of everything. And then one last one. Be in wonder. Don't be sure of everything. Nothing is written in stone. Not all words contain truth. Everything is flux and flow, particulate swirling in different arrangements and created by vibration, consciousness, expansion, and being. Notice everything and be in wonder. There is nothing that can be solved. There is nothing that can be determined. It is all as it is today. In the next day, the next year, the position will have changed beyond recognition because your perception will have changed in every moment you see with new eyes. We'll stop there. I'll be back with you next time. Visit sarawiseman.com. A lot of changes happening in what I'm offering. A lot of changes happening in what how I'm teaching, the various ways of teaching, and take a look, and especially start to take a look as we get into the new year, because that's when I'll have everything ready for you. Thank you, everyone, and I look forward to being with you next time.